Tuesday at 4, which means it's time to summit the mountain reserved for the 27 best quarterbacks in the NFL. And remember, this is more akin to a college ranking. A good game, you climb. A bad game, okay, all right, you fall. All with a heaping helping of over-the-top mountain climbing imagery. So grab your gloves. It's time to scale Mahomes Mountain.
Oh, it is. And keep in mind, it is a 7-tier mountain. There are only spots for 28 quarterbacks. This week, though, there's only 27 on the mountain.
Wow.
Too many people fell off. As Wildes said, it is a slippery mountain. First, we will show you folks not on the mountain for various reasons. Zach Wilson is afraid of mountains. He will never be on the mountain. Kenny Pickett remains off the mountain, while Bryce Young, Justin Fields, and Deshaun Watson have fallen off the mountain entirely. Bryce is the one that I would anticipate getting back on the mountain the soonest, but they need to find him some weapons and some offensive line. All right, bottom row of the mountain. Red means you have slipped. Green means you have moved up. Russ and McCorkle, of course, have both slipped down the mountain after their 0-2 starts for Russ. You know what? If you gave somebody Russ's first halves and Mac's second halves, you might have a good quarterback. Unfortunately for both of them, it's a 60-minute game. Tannehill back on the mountain, and Josh Dobbs makes his mountain debut. Shout out Josh Dobbs.
Guy.
All right, row 6, Daniel Jones. From off the mountain to a row 6 guy, Greg. How about that for Daniel Jones? Jimmy G, of course, slips. Note that Brew has not said, Dusty, where's the graphic yet this week after Jimmy G's terrible loss against Buffalo. C.J. Stroud and Sam Howell, impressive this week. Both over 300 yards. C.J. Stroud, like 380. Yep. Sam Howell, a great second half. They're row 6 guys. Row 5, Stafford, couple bad picks. He drops down a bit. Geno, another guy. Oh, look at this. The two guys who moved up. Geno and Baker, otherwise known as Brew's two most hated quarterbacks. Geno Smith and Baker Mayfield both led comebacks. Both threw for 300 yards. Both looked this week like top 15 quarterbacks. Kirk Cousins and Brock Purdy maintain. I thought Cousins was quite good this week. Yes. Brock Purdy not so much, but not enough to drop. Now we're to the top 10. Joe Burrow has fallen and could fall further depending on when his calf gets healthy. Jalen Hurts didn't play poorly, but fell just a bit. That was, again, the Eagles played a good enough game, but it was a run-focused game. I didn't think he was that sharp except the 2 deep balls to Devontae Smith. And Justin Herbert, even in the loss, I thought did enough to move up just a tick. Keep in mind, there was a spot open because Aaron Rodgers previously was in that top 10, but Rodgers now off the mountain as he's injured. Justin Herbert fills that void even though they lost. All right, now to the top 6. The mountain is fair.
I mean,
the Prince slips.
Wow.
The Prince, listen, even when you're scaling close to the king, you don't score a touchdown, you struggle in the red zone, you slip a bit. Mountain is also fair to Josh Allen. People say, the mountain hates Josh Allen. No, Josh Allen doesn't like blistery conditions, which is odd because he plays in Buffalo. But he was quite good this weekend, and Lamar was excellent. That now brings us to the top 3. Tua remains our tier 2 guy for the time being, and Dak Prescott. All they asked of Dak was don't turn the ball over, trust your defense, take care of the game. That's all he's done, and yet now people are like, why isn't Dak doing more? Dakota Rain Prescott, I will be fair to you even if others won't. And then, of course, still atop the mountain with Caleb Williams really climbing for that spot, but he was off this week, so he couldn't go too much further. Patrick Mahomes remains atop the mountain. There is the best quarterback ranking system for the 2023 season. Greg Jennings, happy. Daniel Jones back on there? Huh? Trevor Lawrence just slipped. You doubted me that he would? What's up? You look.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not excited that Daniel Jones is on the mountain.
Well, then
but
smile.
The fact that he's that low on the mountain after a historic performance in the second half, we've never seen any quarterback do that in our lifetime, in any lifetime. I think he should be higher. He's not afraid of the cold. Okay. But for me, I'm looking at a guy in Tua and trying to figure out why in the world.
Why would you drop Tua?
I'm not going to drop Tua. I'm trying to figure out why he's not atop the mountain.
Ooh.
With his performances,
okay.
Let's get this straight. He's the only quarterback that's gone on the road and has 2 wins for his team. He also is the only quarterback in all of this season has thrown for 400 yards. He goes in. I know it was week 1. He goes into Gillette Stadium You're comfortable.
Yeah.
You're confined
Played well.
against one of the greatest mind, if not the greatest mind defensively that we know, and adjust their game plan and how they knew they weren't going to be able to take them over the top and go deep. But yet he slices and dices. 249, 1-1. One of the knocks on Tua, or one of the concerns was, well, can he stay healthy? Well, he's only been sacked one time this season. Yeah. They made clear adjustments, he being the they, and understanding I got to get these guys the ball quick, soon, often. We can make plays when we need to down the field, but right now I'm going to play smart. He's done every possible thing. They're literally yards per pass play is averaging almost a first down every time he drops back and throws the ball. When have we seen this? We haven't seen these type of numbers. And when I look at Patrick Mahomes, although I love Patrick Mahomes, I love what he was able to do.
Who was better this week?
It was Tua.
Really? Tua threw 1 touchdown, Patrick threw 2. Patrick threw for 300 yards, Tua threw for 249. Patrick got a higher rating, Tua fumbled twice. They both threw a pick. Give me a break.
Their team scored 17 points.
Oh, he was game manager.
I mean, we're talking about Tua. He has the number 1 offense in the league, number 1 scoring offense in all of football as well.
Tua's been great.
He's been amazing.
Hold on, I'm just curious. I just want to make sure I understand because sometimes the wind gets in my ears, a little snow-packed.
Yeah.
Are you arguing that Tua Tagovailoa should be atop Mahomes Mountain?
Got a case.
Is that what you're arguing? That Tua Tagovailoa should be at the very top of Mahomes Mountain?
That sounds like what I'm arguing.
That you would right now make a case that Tua Tagovailoa is better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes?
Well, that's not what it is.
Let's stick with what it is.
Mahomes Mountain.
Tua has performed, and his team is 2-0. Patrick Mahomes seemed 1-1. I understand it's not the standings, all those things, but Tua has definitely outperformed Patrick.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and disagree with you there, but that's fine. And on
because if we're going strictly off stats,
on Tua Hill,
if we're going strictly off stats weekly, then Patrick Mahomes should not be atop the mountain.
Okay, all right, all right, that's fine. Greg just made the case that
an unwinnable argument, but
Tua Mountain.
The audience knows. You did a great job.
I think you're going to have trouble pushing back on this one, Nick. First of all, the Prince should have dropped more, but that's neither here nor there. My beef is Lamar Jackson and Dak Prescott
Great take.
should just switch.
Fair.
All right, Lamar on that second level, Dak down on that third level. First of all, the numbers. Let's see him, Dusty. Okay. Lamar Jackson is playing better numbers-wise than Dak Prescott in his century. You see it, every category. All right, passer rate. Only thing is he has 1 interception that Dak doesn't have. That's it. But statistically, Lamar's been better. Here's the other thing. Lamar, to use Charles Barkley's term, is a bus driver. That team revolves around Lamar Jackson. He is carrying them. Dak, with all due respect, is a passenger. The defense drives the bus. All right? The run game is the lookout. Dak's job, read us the GPS. Tell us what, turn right, turn left. That's it. And with all due respect, because that's what I want him to do. He's a spectacular game manager.
Hold on.
But the team, the Baltimore Ravens go as Lamar goes. Yeah. Not true with the Cowboys. They go as the defense goes.
That's true. They almost won a playoff game without him last year, first of all. Second of all,
almost.
Hold on. Well, yeah, I mean, it's not the. So hold on. I have a few questions here because last week Lamar was excellent. Dak just as good. Dak last week was 255 this past week, 2 touchdowns and a 112 rating. So what's bringing his numbers down is a game he won 40-0. Here's the question I would have for you. Here's the question I would have for you. Has Dak played a bad game this year? Has Lamar?
No.
Really?
Not a bad game.
The first game against the Texans?
25-9.
Hold on, but if you're going to do team score, the guy had won 40-0.
Dak wasn't, I wouldn't say Dak was really good. 13 for 24, but 140 yards
so here's where,
against the Jets.
Here's where people are unfair to Dak. Going into the year, what everyone said was you have a great defense, just please don't turn the ball over.
No.
Now, through 2 weeks, his defense has allowed 10 points. His team is averaging 35 a game, and the answer is, why aren't you doing more, Dak?
What is Dak
why
on the bus
aren't you doing more? Yeah, he's reading the GPS.
Read the GPS. Well, hold on.
Yeah.
Nick, you are making his bar so low
I'm not.
that if he just doesn't throw an interception, he's
what I am saying is, Dak Prescott last week threw for 255, completed.
Wow.
Hold on.
255.
Wait a second. Hold on. Completed 75% of his passes, had a 112 passer rating. It was one of the highest passer ratings in the league all
Nick,
week.
does he carry his team like Lamar carries his?
Honestly, I don't know that Lamar carries his team.
Really?
Right? No, I don't. Right now, no, I do
Who's the
not.
defense game planning for? Lamar.
Who's the?
They're not game planning for that.
Who are they game planning for?
They're not
Then who is it?
ignoring
Who are they
Dak.
game planning for?
The run game?
Really?
The receiver?
The receiver is the.
And look, Dak is pretty. I'm not saying he's bad, and I'm not saying the defense is ignoring him. But I'm saying the straw that stirs the drink is Lamar.
Okay.
It's not Dak in Dallas. He's got to do his job.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
It's a fair point. He's like in like a mile, like the second light, we got to take a
Right. I mean,
Michael Parsons is
that's
like,
it.
you got it.
Yes.
I got it.
Thank you, Wild.
Okay.
You get it.
I'm going to just talk about. Sorry, I was told to sit up. I gotta try. I was deep in the stats. It's just the turnovers is true for two teams. First of all, my guy Mac Jones, and this is just a preamble, does lead the league in completions and is sixth in passing yards, and only 3 quarterbacks have more touchdowns than him. But keep him in the bottom row because the quarterback wins.
Are you
It's just
advocating
stats.
for Mac Jones?
No, I'm talking about Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I mean, you're down
60
every
minutes.
game.
It's just the
120.
turnovers. It's just the
Who's
turnovers.
making the turnovers?
Ezekiel Elliott!
Well, no,
And Bob Douglas!
Really? Mac's not responsible
He
for
made
2?
one!
2.
In any event, I'm talking about Kirk Cousins.
Well, then what are
Also,
we doing?
just the turnovers. Kirk Cousins did get sacked and coughed up the ball, but they've got 7 turnovers. Can we show the Kirk Cousins numbers, please? My goodness gracious. He got the most passing touchdowns. He's got the most 20 yards completions. He's second in passing yards, second in passing rating, and third in completion percentage. But because they're 0-2, you got him down on the Mahomes Mountain, even though when we say that Jimmy G, all he does is win, you say, quarterback wins. It's not a
That's
stat.
not true. I didn't drop him.
He's got you there.
I left him even though they lost.
He's playing great.
No,
He's playing great, but just because his running backs and Justin Jefferson's fumbling it out of the end zone, he's being penalized. What is Joe Burrow? Joe Burrow can't run. Joe Burrow can't run. And he didn't slide down the mountain.
If you want to argue that he did slide down the mountain.
Not enough. He can't run.
Okay, if you want to hold against Burrow the entirety of what he's accomplished versus these 2 games, that's fine. Burrow obviously has some dispensation because we know how good he is. Cousins, I didn't knock at all, first of all, for his performance this week. He stayed exactly where he was.
Thanks. He had 4 touchdowns against the
Week
Eagles.
1, they lost because he threw a pick at the goal line.
Whose fault was it?
His?
Well, look at the all-22.
Yeah, I mean,
Greg?
But I'm with you. What about
you.
this week? You don't go to week 1. What about this week?
Right.
In this
He was
week's
great.
game, I thought he was very good. Can we show the mountain quickly again, Hubs? I'm sorry. Burrow is an interesting one because obviously he's played better than Burrow. I know that.
Herbert?
But I think Burrow, who do you think he deserves to be ahead of?
Justin Herbert is going to, I was going to make a deal. They play each other in Minnesota.
Yeah, this week.
Kirk Cousins outplays Justin Herbert next Mahomes Mountain, they have to switch.
If he outplays him, or is it based on who wins?
If he outplays and wins, first of all, I think
Okay.
the Vikings
you know what?
are going
You know
to
what?
win.
The Mahomes Mountain Committee, which is just me, it's not an actual committee. I will consider.
Thank you. Don't consider, just say yes.
I gotta watch the games. I have to actually watch the games.
What's that shot?
Is it possible for Mahomes to slide down the mountain?
It's named after him. We're gonna be sorry.
You did a good job, though.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.